All right, stream is up. Um, Let me go to Discord, grab this, announcements. I would really appreciate if the announcement would show up in my channel. Yeah, I should probably make sure that my recording is saved too. Yeah, automatically record when streaming. Sick. Done. So there, I should be able to upload this straight to YouTube once I'm done. What was that? That was Yahoo. Means there we go. Let's copy message link and back to CTHBL. And send it back in vacuum wave announcements. Paste. I'll ping everyone again because I'm such a kind person. Vacuum wave coach. That's the link to my fucking Discord. What the hell? For this site. Okay, it's gonna mess everything up, but that's all right. Okay, it's gonna mess everything up, but that's all right. Boom, boom, view, slideshow. I think that's good. I'm gonna send it in self-promotion too.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Oh, that is not at all what I wanted to send in there. Delete. What the fuck?
Was it porn?
No. It was a link to my Discord. Let's just hide that for a second. Boop, boop, boop. BRB. They should still hear us. Da-da-da. Oh, sorry. I was rushing so fast for this. Let's escape that. Twitch. Go to my channel. And copy. And, copy.
I haven't even built my team for today.
You haven't built your team yet?
No, I haven't had time.
Nice. Nice.
Because I can't get Terra Jolteon.
Yeah, I was a little confused on why you had the Terra Gudra instead of Jolteon. I mean, Jolteon's just great to have as Terra captain. There. Okay. Just this one. Okay. Okay. Everything looks good on my end now. So we
Does it?
can, yeah, I mean, the slideshow is shittily put together, but I don't think Vacuum Wave cares because
Oh my gosh,
our division's a bunch of goofballs.
there's 6 viewers.
Really?
Yeah, that's what it says.
Damn. Hello, friends. Welcome. We can give it another minute. If another couple people want to get in here. Um,
Let's
there's
go,
what up,
Handy.
Handy? How we doing? Um, Also, I don't know how serious you're taking the draft analysis, Kurt. I'll be pretty serious, at least in what I think of the teams, but I am also going to fuck around and make fun of people, just as I'm going to do when I. Okay, Handy. This voice, this is me, Papa Jabo. The other voice is Kurt.
The one that sounds sick is me.
Yeah, because you work with children. Also, hi Superbench. How you doing, buddy? Uh, yeah, I'm not gonna take it super duper seriously. I think our division is fun and wants to mess around at least a little bit.
I might be building a team in the background, no big deal.
Yeah, it's fine. Everything's fine. You do have a game to play tonight. Um, you know, Unlike me, number one in our division. Best there is.
How gimmicky can I make this team is the real question.
With the mons you have, I don't know. I'm honestly not sure how gimmicky you could make it. Oh, there we go. 6 viewers. All right. Well, you ready to get into it, Kurt? Or you
I'm
want?
ready.
Okay. So, welcome everyone to the Catch These Hands Battle League Season 1 draft analysis with myself, Papa Jabo, and my lovely co moderator, Kurt. Say hi, Kurt.
What's up?
There we go. So, we're going to be here just sort of reviewing everyone's teams, how the draft went overall, and what we're sort of expecting to see this season, at least a little bit. Um, but yeah, it's not crazy serious. We thought we'd do something at least a little for fun for everyone, that we could all enjoy together, mess around with. So let's get straight into it with the first team in the draft, our beautiful Latina Latiases, coached by Blue Fusion. And I do have to say, one of my favorite things about our division, Kurt, is the amazing logos that all of these teams have.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
they're
the
just
MS
fantastic.
Paint ones
They're
that are coming up
fantastic.
soon.
I
Yeah.
will say, I think it is the fourth team is probably it's third or fourth is my favorite logo in our entire division. Also, hello lyrics, welcome to the stream. We just got into it, so you didn't miss anything yet.
My
Um,
favorite logo is the JPEG of Torterra.
well, okay, listen. Twin City Torteras did not have a logo, so I just found an image that was Torterra and threw it on there. But yeah, we had two teams without logos, so they just got the Pokemon that their team was named after.
That
Um,
will be considered in our rankings,
yes, very much
how
so.
good the logo is.
I have to say, Latina Latiases, I see some effort put in here for the logo. I like it. I don't know how you feel about it, but I like it.
And you know what else I see from this team?
Mhm,
And I don't know if this is in order necessarily of the
mhm.
draft, but fourth round Dragapult? Is
Fourth
that what
round
happened?
Dragapult. I think Dragapult might have been fourth round. Um, One thing we do have to recap, and I'm assuming most of the people watching right now, or the people who will watch when this is posted to YouTube, are from Vacuum Wave Division. And our draft, we did something a bit different, and everyone picked a mon that was 3 points or less with their first round pick. Um, so I believe Basculin was in fact Blue Fusion's first pick. Um, which I'll be honest, Basculin is a solid 3 pointer, especially for his Terramon, or one of his Terramons. I think that's a pretty good pickup, especially as the first pick in the draft. Um,
Yeah.
I am very, very happy that everyone actually stuck to the gentleman's agreement and picked a mon that was 3 points or less. Um, that gave me very high hopes for this division. But after the Basculin, we got the Landorus, Therian, Hisuian Samurott, Dragapult, Galarian Slowking, Mega Manectric, Whimsicott, Alolan Sandslash, Mienshao, and Talonflame.
I mean, this team's just fast.
It is a very fast team. He has, I mean, Hammerot, the Hisuian Samurott is just good. That's a great Mon. Dragapult is arguably the best Mon in all of draft. I don't even know if it's arguably. It
Hisu
just
and
is.
Samurai, it's a great lead.
Yeah, it can get up all the
Obviously,
hazards he wants. It's fantastic pickup.
you can run Focus Sash, Ceaseless
Mm-hmm.
Edge,
Mm-hmm.
get one or two layers of spikes up.
Yeah.
Or you can just run it as like a choice banded. I mean, what does it have? Base. Pull it up here. Base 108 attack. Throw a
Yep.
choice band on it.
Yeah.
Dark stab, knockoff stab. If you want to run that instead of ceaseless edge.
Yep.
The razor shell sharpness boost. I mean, it's powerful, hard hitting mon.
Yeah. And then on top of that, add in the Galarian Slow King. I don't see as much synergy with the chili reception outside of
Well, you got
the
a lone
sand slash.
sand
Yeah, I
slash
would say
there.
outside of the sand slash, which it does get. Does it have slush rush?
It does have slush rush, so that
Okay,
brings
so
it
yeah,
65 to like a base 130
30,
speed.
which that's pretty crazy. That's a pretty good mon, especially with the Terra Ice as well. Then Landorus Therian, obviously just an all-around good mon. Um, Talonflame, nice fire flying. The 4 times weak to rock sucks, but Talonflame is a great mon to have. The only mon on this team that I sort of question is the Mega Manectric. It's a fast electric type. I get it. I don't know if it was the best choice to synergize with the rest of his team. Um,
I mean, when
but
you a lot of his team is very physically attacking heavy,
yeah, so he's missing definitely some special attackers.
which Benetric brings, and
Yeah,
obviously Volt Switch and
yeah.
lots of great pivot moves all around.
So you're right. It does definitely help there. But yeah, this is a very, very fast team. Like I'm really looking at it more now, and this team is maybe one
Yeah.
of the fastest teams in our division. Um, I think overall, especially after he technically ended up with the last pick because of what we did in the first round, I think overall this is a pretty good team. Um, and
Yeah,
it's well
I'm
balanced,
curious to
very
see what.
pivot heavy.
I don't think Blue Fusion, who drafted this team, I don't think they came into the draft thinking that they'd be staring down Dragapult and Slowking at the 4 or 5 turn.
No, I highly
So
doubt
I'm
it.
curious to see what the plan was going into this or as it was developing
Yeah.
and then staring that down. But uh, when you
I mean,
see it, when you see them in the 4th round, you
you
can't
have to
pass
take
that
them.
up.
Yeah, I mean, they're both fantastic mons. I mean, Dragapult's almost always going to be 20 points in any league you're in.
Yeah.
And Glow King for 16, that's still a pretty good deal because it's so good. Um, I think he did a great job in this draft.
And
Uh,
then Terra Captains,
the Whimsicott with Fairy and Fire, I think especially the Fairy is nice. Um, Basculin Water is great. Dragon's just a good type. Um, I don't know if Basculin really
I mean,
benefits
to
much from it.
resist grass and
Yeah,
electric, so
which
cover a couple weaknesses there.
so yeah, I
And
mean
then does
cover the only water weaknesses. That's fantastic. Um,
yeah, then does it learn like outrage or something?
does it? I honestly don't know. You're the one with more Pokemon knowledge than me.
It
I
learns
just
scale shot. Oh, there we
oh
yeah.
yeah, there you go. Scale
They
shot.
learned scale shot,
That's
so
fantastic.
stab on
Increasing,
that, boost the speed.
yeah, even more. That's pretty nutty. And
And then
Alolan
the
Slant
same
Slash
slash the
with
water because it's a defensive beast, and then
yeah,
ice if you want to do the slush rush and just turn
just
it
be
into
able
some
to
sort of sweeper
yeah.
and
Which I mean, I'd be scared if I saw the Terra Ice Slush Rush Sweeper Sand Slash.
yeah,
Um,
just click triple axle, hope it hits every time.
but yeah, I think again we have 16 teams to go through, but this is one of my favorite teams that I saw through the draft and going through our doc a bit. Um, Blue Fusion is one of the people who I am more nervous to play, and when we get to my team, you'll definitely see why.
Oh,
Um,
I'm not nervous. I'm just bringing Trick Room.
no, I mean fair, but Trick Room doesn't work too well with my team. Well, as well, but
Watch out for my Frigiraffe. Blue Fusion.
I think overall we can say Blue Fusion had a pretty good draft. Um, given everything that happened. So, what would you rate him out of 10 for this?
I don't remember what I gave him on the rankings. I think it was like an 8 or 9.
So, I believe I gave him an 8 on it. I also didn't take those rankings super seriously. I left comments in everyone's team that I basically rated teams based on how much I liked the Pokemon on their team. But I think as an actual draft team, I think this is really good, especially given what the other teams are in our league. I think he did great. I'd give him a solid 8 out of 10.
I like it.
All right, on to the next. Victorious Vigoroths, coached by Speedy. Another one of our fantastic logos.
Yes, yes, I like that one.
This one is great. I okay. Let's just go through their team real quick. We got the Probo Pass in the first round, which I think was a pretty good pickup for 3 points. Then Therian Tornadus, Kyurem, Walking Wake, Gardevoir, Mega Aggron, Brute Bonnet, Nidoqueen, Whiscash, and Cinccino. I think this is another pretty good all around team.
I think Tornadus was a post-draft pickup too.
I believe
Because it says
so.
over there second round, and I think it fell like
It fell pretty far, I
it
believe.
was not
Yeah.
available after the second round. So I
Um,
believe it was a post-draft pickup on the Tornadus Therian.
yes. And there are I know there are a lot of grace changes. Um, and I those are mostly included in this because we included grace just as part of that.
Yeah.
Um, so
I'm just being able to get
yeah.
that after the
Yeah,
draft.
that's
I think
crazy.
Tornadus Therian is great.
A 19-point Mon especially, and he's so good. Um,
I mean, just having a regenerator mon like that,
mhm.
like
Uh,
a the Bleak Wind dish up like a move like
oh
Bleak
yeah,
Wind Storm is just absolutely devastating.
yeah. Along with the bulk on his team too. I mean, he has a bunch of bulk. The Mega Aggron especially. That what is it like base 230 or something defense? It might even be higher than
What
that.
am I looking at? Yeah, 230
Yeah,
defense.
I mean that is a physical wall. I don't know if
Yeah,
anything will be able to one shot that, and it's pure steel type when it megas, I
it
believe.
is.
Yeah, so I
Pure
mean,
steel type,
one of the
and it
best
has
defensive
filter.
types. Yeah, Mega Aggron was a crazy pickup. Actually, one of my favorite mons and another mon that I wanted this draft that got sniped because I was thinking no one would take it. But crazy bulk, brute bonnet also really good. Probopass as well. For bulk, all of these mons can take hits. And then he has mons like the Tornadus, the Kyurem, Walking Wake, Gardevoir. And honestly, after a few videos I've watched, a Terra Cinchino can go crazy. I'm
I do, yes.
surprised he didn't go Terra normal though for one of his Terra types.
What are we looking? Oh, let me look at it right now.
Cause I watched.
Bullet Seed, Terra, Grass Bullet Seed is one of them.
Yeah, but also the Terra normal tail slap loaded dice set
Yeah,
is pretty crazy.
Rock Blast. Yeah, you can run Technician or
Yep.
Skill Link, and then you could do Skill Link Choice Band, or yeah, you could do
Yeah.
loaded dice with the Technician.
There's so much you can do with that mon. Um,
I-
and at
At
8 points, I
8 points, I
think
think
it's
it's
good. Yeah. Yeah. Um, I think this is another overall really well balanced team. In the other league that we're in, I run Walking Wake on a Sun team, and I mean it's a monster. It really is. Especially it hits so hard. Um, and yeah, Andy just said we should not have let Kyurem be a Terra captain.
no,
Um,
and it's Terra Ground, which does it covers the fighting weakness this team has. I mean,
yeah,
obviously you got Tornadus,
yeah,
but you got a lot of mods on this team weak to fighting.
hmm
I mean, Ground it becomes neutral.
yeah. But then even Kyurem just in general is such a scary mon. I think this is all around another great balanced team. Um, I do like the Latina Latiases a bit more. Um, but I really don't see where you can go wrong with this team. It does have a very prevalent fighting weakness, but yeah, the Kyurem ground Terra definitely takes care of that. Um,
I mean, yeah, that's why I think the Tornadus pickup in Grace Period was huge.
it was yeah
Because
fantastic.
I wonder what it had before,
Yeah,
what this team had before
I,
that.
honestly,
Then it would have been really weak to fighting.
yeah, I honestly do not remember. Um, I feel kind of shitty as a mod not remembering everything that was drafted or paying attention close enough. But
Also, Handy knows I love Walking Wake.
Walking Wake's freaking goaded. It's such a good mon. Um,
Hydreigon. Oh, so yeah.
yeah.
So that that was a good pivot there.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you
Hydreigon
for
to the Tornadus Therian. That is crazy.
yeah.
Thank you, owner Handy. You are greatly appreciated.
My
Um,
Blaziken would went crazy on this team. I'm just
yeah.
saying.
I mean, it would have, especially if we allowed speed boost, but we don't. Um, but I also love the Gardevoir as another Gardevoir and Walking Wake both. I mean, special attacking monsters. They're really good. Along with the bulk he has in the back, I breaking through this team will be hard. Um,
Yeah.
I I think overall Speedy did a very good job drafting. Again, I'd rate it just barely lower than the Latias's. I'd give this a 7.5. Um, I think he had a great draft, especially getting the Tornadus and Grace over the Hydreigon. If we're including Hydreigon instead of Tornadus, I think it goes down just a little bit.
Yeah, but that
But
change has already
yeah,
been
yeah,
made,
it's like the
so
Tornadus was already made. So yeah, this is a solid 7.5, almost an 8. Solid team. What do you think?
yeah, probably same 7.
Yeah. Yeah, way to go, Speedy. This is another solid team. All right.
Kiram's gonna be scary. I just
Kirims will be very scary. Uh but yeah, we'll see what happens through the season. Uh next up, this is my favorite logo. Diamond Man and the runner-up Reggie Rocks. This is one of the greatest logos I think I have ever seen. And he did an absolute fantastic job making the Beep Boop Man. I was so proud that in the first round he took Love Disc. One
yeah.
of
So
the
playing in another league with Diamond Man,
uh-huh.
where he also has a left disc and did I think he got 5 kills throughout the
I
season.
can't believe it got 5
Just
kills.
clicking Aqua Jets, cleaning up a little
That
bit. Yeah,
is
so
amazing. It's only
he's kind of
redeemable still.
adopted it as a mascot.
That's amazing. And I love Diamond Man and the fact that he took that. Um he got a lot of lower point mons. One thing that I think was common throughout our draft is a lot of people stopped at 10 mons.
Hmm.
We have a lot of 10 mon teams. I think he might be the only 12 mon team. So he has a lot of different options. They're just weaker options. There's one mon on this team that you and I from the league that we're in both hate with a passion because of what it did to us, and that is the Comfy.
I mean, just the 3 Terra captains. If you go down this
Yeah,
team, Klotzer, Comfy,
Comfy and
and Bisharp,
Bisharp. They're
those are
scary.
some great lower tier Terra captains that
Yeah.
can put in some damage.
And the fact that he could bring one of them, obviously, every week, and you don't know which is going to come, it makes planning for this team incredibly hard. Um, I mean, again, Handy, I see you saying he had the love disc locked in well before the gentleman's agreement. Um, I do love the fact that he just full on went love disc first round, despite the fact absolutely no one else is going to take this thing. No one wanted love disc except for him, and he still went for it first round instead of waiting till round 12. So full respect to Diamond Man. Ooh, I don't know what just happened. Something glitched on my screen, but it's fine. But then Slowbro, Chi-Yu, special attacking monster, so good. Sneasler, Sneasler's solid, fast, physical attacker. Both of them, that's 2 bases covered. I love Mousehold. Mousehold is just such a fun mon. I think Population Bomb is annoying to deal with. Obviously a ghost type just cancels it out, but overall, and then his 3 Terra
Yeah,
captains. This is crazy.
I think this is another team that made a lot of moves in prep as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think he had Pinchurikin before, and
Yes.
it was a team that's really weak to ground. It does still have some ground weakness to it.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think he added the Rotom, which adds a much needed ground
Immunity.
immunity.
Yeah.
You also have the other one.
The
Minior has a ground immunity as well.
and Terraflying Bisharp if he wanted to go for that. That helps
Yes, which
out.
is huge to cover that up. But the
Yeah.
Terra Captain, um, oh, I just closed out my document. I don't know what his team is right now. Sneezer's great. Obviously, you can run Unburden with it.
Yeah.
Have it go crazy. Put a white herb on there. Chi-Yu is always gonna click buttons
Yeah.
and
I
melt
mean,
teams.
you just click Dark Pulse, click Flamethrower, click Overheat,
Put a
and
choice scarf or
yeah,
choice specs on it.
and it just it can run through teams. Um, and Slowbro, I mean, he has pretty good bulk. I think maybe that's the one thing this team might lack a little bit outside of Slowbro and maybe Golurk is I mean, I don't know why the Espeon picture didn't load. Um that's not in there for some reason. But it doesn't have as much bulk as some of the other teams, but it
No.
does make up for that in the fact that it's very versatile in the mons you can bring every week. I think he can prep for just about any team with the versatility he has and the variety of mons.
Yeah, I'm just scared of these Terra captains. That's
Yeah, the main
the
part of his
benefit
team.
of like the way that we run Terra captains here with having the lower tier Terra captains
Yeah,
get two. It's just yeah, these are scary. Comfey and Bisharp, just Terra
yeah,
Dark, Sucker Punch coming in,
yeah.
cleaning up people. It's
I'll be honest. I don't know. I don't think I play him. But if I had to play another Comfey, I would be very upset. I don't want to play this. I think it's a stupid mon. The fact that it has 100 speed and it's just a circle of flowers makes me angry. It's dumb. But because he has it and it is so good, I know to fear this team because it could sweep people um, if they're not prepared for it.
yeah,
Overall,
but
though,
like you said, a lot of the bulk we're gonna be relying heavily on Slowbro.
mm-hmm.
You can run an Eviolite Bisharp.
Yeah.
Um,
Then Slowbro has Regenerator, right? Or
yeah,
is that
Slowbro's
okay?
Regenerator.
Yeah. So that's huge.
Um,
And obviously
Rotom.
Comfey has Triage, which is huge.
Comfey has yeah,
Um, so he has the ability to heal up his team, but I think a lot of his mons could be one shot. Like my Chiyu has been one shot all 4 weeks that we've played in our other league. It's just it has no defensive abilities. Same thing with Sneasler. It's not super bulky. So a lot of the mons are weak, but if he switches into something like Slowbro, Golurk, the Bisharp running an Eviolite, I think that could help him out if he pivots pretty well.
yeah.
Uh,
Everyone on the team's weak except Love Disc, obviously.
yeah. I mean, Love Disc is obviously the greatest mon on this team.
Agreed.
I think the two teams we've already looked at, I think, are overall better than this one. The main highlight of this team is the Terra Captains. I think you're 100% on point with that. He has fantastic low tier Terra Captains that are just hard to plan for. Um, and I will be brutally honest, I don't think there were very many bad drafts in our league. Um,
No.
I think everyone actually did a pretty good job with a lot of balance or pivot teams. We might have one or two sun or rain teams. Um, I don't think because this team is very versatile, but its mons are a lot weaker than some of the ones we've seen previously. I'm gonna give him a 6.5, which I hate to do. Um,
I don't. I'll give him a 4.
you'll give him a 4,
No, I'm
really?
just kidding.
I was like,
I'll give him a 6.
I think just overall with the mons you saw taken earlier and the fact he did go for just 12 mons overall, I don't know if that was the move in this draft. And I think that gives a couple other teams with just stronger Pokemon a leg up on him. But yeah, that's Diamond Man and the runner-up Regirox. I do in fact I lied. I have to bump him up for one reason because we said logos are going to be factored in. Um, if we're talking straight logo, runner-up Regirox is my 10 out of 10 for this division. It is perfect. I would change nothing. Beat Boop on second place is fantastic. Um, but I think overall as a team, a 6.5 is probably the best spot for him to sit. So yeah, 6.5. Next up, we have Mylan and the Chicago Bulus, which I mean,
Yes.
this is a very well made logo. You did a great job on it. And is that an Ekans wrapped around the Tapu Bulu's head?
I think it is.
That's fantastic. That is amazing. Mylan, I don't know if you're gonna watch this, if you're watching, or if you made this yourself. But if you did, this is amazing. And you should be proud of it. But now let's get to his team. He has a total of 10 mons, just like a lot of the other teams we've seen. He got rid of his first round pickup. I don't remember who it was. But now he has Ditto, Urshifu Single Strike, Tapu Bulu, Rodon Wash, Iron Crown, the Claude, Mega Banette, Noivern, Entei, and Slurpuff. I There's a couple mons to be scared of on this team. The Single Strike Urshifu. obviously can hit like a truck. Wicked Blow being a guaranteed crit is terrifying to think about. Um, and his Terra captains being Iron Crown and Noivern. What do you think about those?
Iron Crown with the Terra Ground. That's what we're looking at, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like Rotom, Iron Crown, Clodsire, Entei. You got some good bulk on this team.
Yeah.
Guys that can take hits
Yeah.
and guys that can dish it out
The
as
Mega
well.
Banette has like what 165 base attack, I believe. Um,
Yeah.
physically
And I
can
mean,
hit like a truck.
you're using him a lot for his prankster abilities.
Obviously, yeah. But even if you did need him to just hit once, I mean that physical attack goes crazy. And just for 8 points as a prankstermon too, that's really good. Um, I love Clodsire. Uh, it's so freaking cute, and it is so good in draft. For its ability
I
to
mean, and
set
that's
up
that's
all
your
the
main hazard
hazards.
setter there, other
Yeah,
than Slurpuff with sticky webs.
yeah. But Clod has Stealth Rock Spike and Toxic Spike, doesn't he?
Yes, very versatile
Yeah,
there.
he can do everything. And he's Poison Ground, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, good typing too. Um, that takes care of fairies pretty well. Um, a
Yeah,
great
I'm not
mon.
looking at too debilitating of a weakness.
No, I think
Um,
all around there's almost every team in this draft was balance and pivot. Um, which is okay. I'm happy to see it. Because there's a lot more diversity in people's teams. Um, I I mean, Entei is fast. It has bulk. It's a good mon. It's a good just straight fire type. Um, I want to see what he does with Ditto. I'll be honest. Um,
it was hard to prep for.
exactly, because you're like Ditto is just one of my mons, and there's nothing I can do about it.
It's one of your mods with a choice scarf and less
Yeah,
HP.
yeah. Um, but that choice scarf can really, really turn the tide against your team. Um,
Tapu Bulu, obviously, it's got to go to the Chicago Bulus.
makes sense. Yeah.
Um, I think the regeneration with grassy terrain,
Mm-hmm.
longevity is always nice.
Mm-hmm.
You got Slurpuff who can utilize it with Unburden, belly drum set maybe. Put a grassy seed on it.
I didn't even think about that, and that's actually kind of terrifying.
Yeah, I mean that's a possibility. Other than that, I don't see anything else really like loving the grassy terrain.
No, I mean nothing
I don't know
else
if there's
really
anyone on
is
here that
great
gets
with it.
grassy glide that can use it. Not that you need it for that. I mean, you can
Yeah,
use Bulu for other things.
but yeah, I think the
Um,
only thing that could possibly get it would be the Ditto if it copied like a Thwacky or Rillaboom
yeah.
or something else. Um, I I know I play Myelin. I believe week 4. Um, I
I guess you could do like acrobatics on something.
yeah
Maybe run like a Urshifu. I
yeah
don't know. Yeah, I don't know why you're gonna do if you don't have the Terra flying. It doesn't really help, but
no. I mean, and also the Noivern's Terra types as normal and fire.
I mean
Uh,
normal boom burst.
yeah,
That's gonna.
that's gonna hurt real bad.
Oof.
But I don't know when he would bring that over the Iron Crown Terra Ground. Um, but something to think about if you have to prep for him. Just the fact that Terra Normal Boom Burst could be there. And Terra Fire. I mean, fire is not fun to have to deal with.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I think the Ditto really, really can mess up other teams in prep. I know it's already something I'm concerned about, and I don't play him for 3.5 more weeks. Um, but yeah, there's no synergies with the grassy terrain besides Slurpuff, which is somewhat frustrating. Especially as he is your mascot and he costs 12 points. So I sadly the synergy outside of Slurpuff isn't really there for this team with the Bulu. Um,
Like we've said, yeah.
I don't think this team is as good as the other teams we've seen. I think it has bulk, it has some heavy hitters. Overall, I don't see the synergy between a lot of the Mons being super great. Um, it has some speedy Mons, it has some bulky Mons. It's a decent balanced team. But I think the ones we've seen before were better. You agree with that?
Um, I'd put this above the Reggie Rocks.
Oh yeah, no, sorry, I sort of wasn't. No offense to Diamond Man and the Reggie Rocks, but they weren't really included in that.
Yeah,
Um,
at the end of the day, like Aquino said, or Shifu's broken.
yeah, it's a
Iron
crazy
Crown
mod.
hits really hard on the special side, so you got two good attackers on each side.
Yeah, and then
Fill that in. I mean, you still got Rotom Wash, hits hard, is bulky.
you have Claude and Entei.
Entei, yeah. Flare Blitz, you got extreme speed for priority,
Yep.
which covers kind of like the speed weakness this team has, which it definitely. I mean,
Definitely
you
has
got
some weakness.
Noivern, and then you got Entei base 100. Other than that, rest of the team is
Not super duper
you're
fast.
not
Yeah.
hitting great speed milestones, but
Yeah.
you can click extreme speed.
Hmm.
You got Sucker Punch on each Urshifu.
Yeah.
Um,
Just
I'm sure other guys get Sucker Punch. I don't know off the
yeah.
top of my
I
head.
was say Mega Bayonet might get it. I don't know.
Mega
Um.
Bennett might get that. Shadow Sneak. It's
Yeah.
obviously got Prankster.
Yeah. I was gonna say because again, a base. I believe it is base 165 physical attack.
Yes, it
Um.
is. I'm looking at it.
Okay. And if it gets off a Shadow Sneak, or
What if
basically
I
any physical move, this thing's gonna hit super hard.
Yeah,
And that's pretty crazy. Yeah. Um, so very, very happy. For this team, definitely, again, no offense, Diamond Man, this team is better than the Reggie Rocks. Um, I think I'd give this a solid 7.
I'm putting it. I think we gave the Vigoroth an 8. I'll probably put
Yeah.
it on the same level with an 8.
Really?
Yeah.
I think speed is you're right. That's the one thing that actually hits this team, outside of the prankster Mega Bayonet. But yeah, I overall great team. One that I do not want to have to prep for. But yeah, way to go, Mylan. You did a pretty good job with this. Next, we have our first team without a logo. We have some random Minecrafter and the Utah Umbreons with 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 mons. And I know he did pick up, I believe, was it Pinkerton and
Yes,
maybe
in
Toxapex?
Grace.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
which is huge.
yeah, I believe this could. There's a chance for this to be a rain team, in some weeks, especially with the Wailord, which I love as a 1 point pickup. I thought it was awesome. Um, but then his Terra captains being the Hisuian Electrode, Crocodile, and Smeargle.
Pull
Over,
this up right now.
yeah, I mean Hisuian Electrode, especially with the base 150 speed, uh,
I
that's
mean,
great.
here's the thing with speed. You've got Hisuian Electrode, you've got Bundle and Boulder, and
Yeah.
then with either booster energy or using Proturic, which you'll probably be using more often with the electric terrain,
Mm-hmm.
this team speed-wise probably unbeatable.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a team in this draft that can do better.
I mean, because you're usually always going to be running speed boosting on Iron Boulder
Yeah,
and Iron Penguin, whatever his name is,
Iron
bundle
Bundle.
guy.
Yeah, little Delibird
Yeah.
man. Um,
Yes.
and one mon that I'm scared of, he got pretty late in the draft. Archaladon. In rain, if he can set up like a rain dance or something with Wailord, um, and then that man gets off some electro shots, he takes a couple physical hits and gets stamina going.
Well, even that, I mean, even if you don't have the rain up, you can do a power herb electro
Yeah,
shot under electric terrain. I
yeah,
mean, you only
that's
get the one off, but
terrifying.
you still get that special attack boost and then
Yeah,
under electric terrain.
that's gonna hit
I mean,
incredibly hard. Anything it hits,
yeah.
unless it's
I mean, it'd be
obviously
nice to have
ground.
both if you get a rain dance up and then electric terrain.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah,
yeah.
this team, I mean, it's gonna hit hard. It's gonna be scary to look at.
It's
Good
so
defensive
fast.
backbones. You got Toxapex,
Hmm.
Crocolore with Unaware. Um, looking what else we got on there. Toxapex, Crocolore, Archelodon, like you said. You
Yeah,
could do some stamina
stamina.
stuff over there.
I don't know what Crocodile's
This team
defense
gets
is. I don't know if it's
demolished by
crazy.
ground types.
That is for sure.
The
Um,
ground types and fighting types.
um, I do love the Crocodile. pickup at 4 points. Smeargle, Ghost and Water, I think is good. Um, but you're right. I see a very very big ground weakness on this team.
Hmm.
Um, Especially I'm somewhat surprised he didn't have any Terra flying, because he
Yeah,
has
it's
no ground immunities at all. None of his mons are flying.
no,
Um, and yeah, Hisuian Electrode, despite being a grass type, the electric type completely cancels out the resistance, so it's just neutral.
and it's
Um,
not taking hits.
no, it's weak. It's just known for being fast and having mediocre special attack. Um, that weakness could destroy this team, though.
The one saving grace, I'm just looking through. I mean, obviously, Archaludon is weak to ground. Most
Mm-hmm.
ground types are probably physical.
Mm-hmm.
It could still take a hit. Iron Bundle is deceptively physically bulky.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, HP is not great, but it's got 114 base defense. When I used Iron Bundle before without any defensive investment, it survived hits that I thought it never should have.
Okay. I think because I just from my week one game, and games from the other league, I know special mons though with earth power, it can hit so hard. Most ground Pokemon are going to be physical and run earthquake instead, but if there's mons that can run earth power and have good special attack, they could they could run through this team pretty fast.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really bad weakness to have and have absolutely no counters to. Um, Again, I and Handy said it in chat. I love the Smeargle. I don't know if he could actually cook on this team. Um, but Smeargle being able to learn just about every move in the game, Ghost Water Terra, it's fun. Um,
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's there for. It's
yeah,
to set up hazards, hit Terra Ghost to block Rapid Spin to keep the hazards on,
yep,
Sticky Webs, Stone Axe, Ceaseless Edge,
it
hit
can do.
all those
Yeah,
moves.
it can do just about
It's
everything.
gimmicky.
It's
There's a
very
reason why it's
gimmicky.
not really used often and why it's only 6 points. But with Terra Ghost being able to block that spin, there's a lot of teams that are going to be underprepared for it, and you're gonna have to face the consequences.
I definitely believe the synergy between his Pokemon is way better. Especially his lower point mons. The pink urchin that he got, the Hisuian Electrode Terra Captain, um, Smeargle, 4 point Crocolar with Unaware, um, then obviously Warlord as something to be able to set up rain dances if he needs it. I think he did great in the low points. I really think that a specifically special ground weakness and overall
And
ground
don't forget
weakness.
fighting too.
Oh
He's
yeah,
got a big
fighting
fighting
weakness. Yeah, he
weakness.
does. But those are two pretty common types that could just obliterate this team. And you're right, Handy.
Grassy terrain Smeargle, yeah, that could be something he could.
That
That's interesting.
that could go really well. Um,
Half that earthquake damage,
yeah, but that's if that's
but
his only
you get a great
answer.
Tusk in there. They still coming in and
Yeah, I would say
destroying this team.
if that is the only answer he has for ground types, I it's not great. I like the team. I think again the Pokemon synergize well, but yeah, having no ground switching, no real answer to fighting types. I he's lower than just about everyone else I've seen, sadly. Uh,
It's. You think so?
yeah,
I can't look at a team with Bundle, Treads,
God,
and
and
Boulder
Boulder.
with an electric terrain setter, even as bad as Pinchurican is.
It's just the weaknesses concern me because again, this team is so fast, and there's no ground priority moves. But
Just buy into the hyper offense.
yeah, I was like, if there are teams that can take hits and just have one special attacking ground type or fighting type, they could sweep this team, which is concerning. Um, but you're right. Maybe I hate to do this to Diamond Man again. It might be a little better than the Reggie Rocks. Um,
I'm
and
giving it a 9 out of 10.
you're giving
I
this a
think it's the best.
nine.
I think it's the best we've seen.
I the weaknesses are just a concern for me. You're right. The speed is crazy, and it probably can just overwhelm every other team that it's gonna play. Um,
Yeah, the
Looking at it, I'll
weaknesses
I'll give it an
aren't
eight.
great.
The weaknesses definitely keep it from a nine for me, because they're pretty common types. Um,
But
but
when you get the boost under the terrain and then you can
yeah,
slap another item on it, you put
it
choice
might be
specs or
better.
life orb or
Yeah.
band on any of these guys and you
Hmm.
can I just
Hmm.
I think it can get out of control for some teams.
Yeah. I think with prep though, the max I can give this is an eight. Um, Again, the synergy between the Pokemon is crazy. Um, Really, you think a seven would be generous for this team? Um,
What's going on in here?
um, but yeah, I think overall, this is just going to be a I think I can go 7.5. I can go 7.5 on this.
I'm
I
I'm I'm standing on the 9 and
You're
I
gonna
think
stand on it.
the Utah Umbreons are gonna prove you guys wrong.
I would be happy if they did because I do love the Pokemon on this team, but I guess we'll have to wait through the season and see if they can prove us wrong.
Hmm.
Um, so with that, Summer into Minecrafter, you have very much so impressed Kurt. I'm slightly skeptical of your weaknesses, but we'll see what happens through the season. Next up, we have Joe Schmo
This
and the
team's
Finger Licks
ass.
for alligators. He made some changes in Grace. We know he did not have the Mawile or the Regieleki, and he had Mega Sableye before instead of regular Sableye, if I'm not mistaken. So he has Mega Mawile, Rapid Striker Shifu, Pecharunt,
He dropped the Mega
Ferrothorn.
Save like because he thought that it mega'd on switching. Like you didn't have to click Mega
Oh my god. Who?
because he wanted the magic bounce.
I'm sorry. That is inappropriate for the chat.
So
I'm
I
kidding.
went
I think
golfing
that's
with this guy before the draft,
uh-huh.
and the only thing that he revealed was that he really wanted to use Pecharunt in Draft League.
I'm so mad at
The
him.
newest mod. He really wanted to use Pecharunt.
I want you to know Pecharunt was gonna be my next pick, but he took it, and that's why I took the mon that I did instead, which I already switched out. Um, but Pecharunt, its only good stat is defense. Everything else is 88. Defense is 160. Everything else 88. Um, and you're right. You are right. Lyrics he did not get for alligator, which is a huge L for him. Um, Also, logo. Oh, yeah, sorry, forgot to say Utah Umbreons. Also, 0 out of 10 for logo because you don't have one. Um, Umbreon's cool Pokemon, so your name's fine, I guess. So maybe a 1 out of 10. Joe's logo looks pretty cool. I don't know if it was made or if he just stole this from somewhere, but I like it. I'll give it a solid 8 out of 10. Um, this is
I
not a great team, I'll be honest. um, his fastest mon obviously is Regieleki, fastest mon in the freaking game with 200 base speed. Um, and Rapid Striker Urshifu is good, not as good as Single Strike, but still really good. Mega Mawile, best typing in the game, just sort of pitiful stats. Um, and Ferrothorn is a wall. Hydrapple is pretty bulky too. I I don't know why he picked up Golduck, except for Cloud9. I mean, for a 2 point Cloud9er, I guess it's fine, but it's not. There's absolutely no synergy between the Mons on his team.
and Handy, I just saw your message. I was about to say the same thing.
Yeah,
Volcarona, Urshifu,
yeah.
and Hydrapple. I mean, that's a great fire, water, grass core offensively. It's huge.
Mhm.
Personally, I would not have gone with the Terra Water on the Volcarona. I think it's great for a defensive Terra,
Should be
obviously.
Terra Fairy. Yeah.
That covers Terra Fairy, Terra
Hmm.
Ground, Terra Grass.
Hmm.
I like going offensive Terra.
Yeah. Yes. So Mega Mawile might have incredibly high attack, but look at all of its other stats. It can't do much outside of that.
I
And
mean,
its
Well,
typing is
its
fantastic.
attack is 210.
Yeah, which is crazy. It's super slow though. And luckily it has the best typing in the game of Steel Fairy. That helps it out a lot. And I forget exactly what he dropped. For what he dropped, I think it was a fantastic pickup. Because his team was even more disgusting beforehand. Um, this is definitely better, but I still don't think this is a good team overall.
Slow team other than Regieleki, but it
Yeah.
makes up for it. It's got decent priority here.
Yeah, and we do know one thing he has already openly talked about is using Trick Room. Um his team is slow, so it would probably benefit from Trick Room outside of Regieleki. Um it's there's nothing fantastic here. And I love Joe, obviously. Known him for a while, but I a little confused on some of the choices he made.
Yeah, I think some of the pickups he made were good though. I really
Mhm.
like Volcarona. I think Volcarona is great.
I think
The Gold
Volcarona is
Ducks.
fantastic. Just the Terra
I
type should be different.
Petron's so new. I don't quite know how it plays yet, other than it's bulky, it's gonna confuse you, and it's gonna poison you, and it's gonna
Yeah.
annoy you.
Yeah.
Or
It's
Shifu's gonna break through things.
and
He's
I
gonna,
mean
I
Mega
mean,
Mawile, same thing. It'll break if he can set up Trick Room with Mega Mawile, I don't know how you're gonna stop that physically. I mean Mega Aggron can, I guess. One of the teams we previously saw, I guess a very bulky steel type completely shuts down Mega Mawile. Um, but yeah, if he can succeed in using Trick Room with it, along with a couple of the other mons, that's great. And this, I don't know if Petulant is as great as some of the other poison type, grounded poison types you could have had. Again, it's bulky, and its ability to confuse when it poisons is great, especially because it's pretty likely that it's going to poison. Um, I think it is a fun mon, but I think there might have been better ones for him to pick, especially since his team had some bulk already with the well, I guess he picked it before Ferrothorn and Hydrapple. Um but he I guess he didn't really need that physical bulk as much. Um
I like his defensive switch-ins. I think he's got a lot of power. I guess the thing that just really, and I think it's the same reason you're not liking the team is because his lower tier mons like the
yeah.
Golduck, the Butterfree, even
Yeah.
kind of the Sableye, they just
Yeah.
kind of make the team look worse.
Yeah, they do.
I think there's
His
better picks out there for the lower tiers, but again, like Andy said, what I really like here, that really high offense, high powered fire water grass core.
it is good. I will
And
open
I
yeah, it's
play
good.
him in about an hour, so
Oh yeah, good point. You do. It's a good team. It's not my favorite. Again, I think he could have made better choices with low tier mons. Um, the Golduck for Cloud, he only picked it for Cloud 9. I'm pretty confident in that. But the fact that it's a Terra Captain, I don't think it needs it at all. And I don't know what work it can put in. Um, what are some of this team's weaknesses? Um, he doesn't have a super crazy ground weakness, I don't believe, especially with two Terra Watermons. Um, Butterfree
I
being,
mean his ground resist is Butterfree.
yeah, or Hydrapple, right? Because Hydrapple's grass type.
Yeah, Hydro Apple resists it.
Yeah. Um, and I mean Ferrothorn, it's neutral because he's steel too. Um, it there's no glaring weaknesses besides that his team is pretty slow outside of Regieleki, and I don't think Trick Room is always the best setup in Draft League. Um,
And
but
singles
maybe
in general, yeah.
say maybe he could make it work. I know it definitely works way better in doubles, especially with a mon like Farigiraf. In Aquano, you're right. I would have definitely Terra'd the Sableye specifically over Golduck. I think the Butterfree Terra is better than Golduck, simply because Golduck does nothing but Cloud 9. I don't think it really helps his team much outside of being a water type.
Yeah,
That's
I was
it.
thinking the same thing.
Um,
I was doing the math in my head earlier, like, oh, what could he change up tarot wise?
yeah, I think Sableye is definitely a better option. Um, and not even by much. I don't think Sableye is a great mon. Outside of Prankster, it gets Prankster, right? Or does it have something else?
No, it does.
It does. Okay, yeah. See, Prankster's great. Just overall, a great ability to have in singles. Um, but yeah,
8 out of 10.
you give him an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
You think because that really solid fire, water, grass core?
Yes, I've just been generous. Apparently, my 9 out of 10 for the last team was too much, but
Yeah, I don't know
again,
if I
like
can
it's
give
the
him an
lower
8.
tiers that aren't great, and how often are you going to be bringing Butterfree and Golduck to a match?
You're right. I think part of it is his team being so slow outside of Regieleki is a tad concerning. Um, I've given a lot of people sevens, but that is honestly sort of what this draft was a lot of just slightly above average teams. I'm trying to also think of it in comparison to some of the other teams we've seen, and I don't know if I can say this is better than all of them and give it an 8 or a 9. Um
Give it what you think.
because he does have some good switch-ins and he can set up Trick Room for some of his stronger mons to really get in and kick ass. If that works, I mean this team is nearly unbeatable with Trick Room up. Outside of that though, some faster mons could really do some damage here. So I'm gonna give him I'll give him a 7 because I can see some things working. Um, but yeah, I think just some of his choices in Terra weren't the best. Which he can still switch up. Obviously the Volcarona could be changed to something more defensive based. He could switch to Sableye over Golduck or Butterfree. Um, but yeah, his higher tiered mons are all great, and they work together really well. So I think I think 7.5 is pretty solid for Joe.
Okay.
All right, up next, Pesky and the LA Reshiram's. This team confuses me just a little bit. He's got the Golbat, Gouging Fire, Palafin, King Gambit, Mega Venusaur, Deoxys Defense, Hitmontop, Galvantula, Aromatisse, and Dunsparce. Um, Terra Captains being a Flying King Gambit and Steel Water
Which is great.
Aromatisse. Those are great Terra types. I mean, those are perfect Terra types almost. Um, there's a little bit of confusion for me on the team because when I saw the Gouging Fire, and Mega Venusaur, I'm immediately thinking Sun.
That's yeah, same.
But I don't see anything else that works well with Sun, especially the Palafin. Um, his first round pickup he kept as the Golbat at 3 points. Not my favorite 3 pointer at all, but it's not bad. I mean, poison flying. He is Oh no, never mind. He has Mega Venusaur. I was gonna say he's lacking grounded poison type, but he has Venusaur. Um, I think this is decent. I mean, he has Galvantula for sticky webs. Um, Dunsparce is pretty bulky. Throw an Eviolite on that if he wants it. Bulky normal type. Deoxys defense, obviously, incredibly bulky. Um, Palafin, 0 to hero, makes it fantastic. Gouging Fire is so good. Even outside of Sun, it's just a great mon. Um, the only real question I have is the Mega Venusaur if he doesn't have something to really set Sun very well. Um, a little questionable on why Mega Venusaur, despite the fact that it's a tank.
Oh, I love Mega Venusaur.
It's a great Pokemon. And obviously it flourishes under Sun. It's still super bulky, which I guess is good. But I think he
I
already
mean, if
has
I
bulk
thought
covered.
last Firewater Grass Score was good with Joe,
But this is
I
better.
mean, Palafin, Gouging Fire, and Mega Venusaur, it's
Hmm.
phenomenal.
But what about? I mean, I guess he has Dragon covered with Gouging Fire, Fairy and Aromatisse, and Steel in King
King
Gambit
Gambit.
and the Aromatisse Terra. That's not a bad Dragon Fairy Steel Core either.
No, this team's lacking speed. I
Very
think
much
that's kind
so.
of why the Galvantula is here.
Setting up those sticky webs or Electro Web.
You would
Yeah,
hope, right?
yeah, and then Hitmontop, obviously a pretty good rapid spinner.
I mean, it's bulky offense here.
Yeah,
King Gambit, Venusaur, Gouging Fire. They're not supposed to outspeed people. They're supposed to take a couple hits and dish them back. You
yeah,
got Dragon Dance to boost the speed up a little bit. King Gambit's got priority and Sucker Punch.
hmm
Um, I would say if you find a way to set the fire up
to do it.
for fight, and I'm trying to see, do they have any sun? I mean, yeah, sunny day all
Yeah,
across the board. Anyone can set it up. You could do Chlorophyll Venusaur.
hmm
Having a natural sunsetter would be awesome for the photosynthesis in
hmm
the Veno. Deoxys, Galvantula, you got bulky, not Galvantula, we got bulky hazard setter.
yeah.
Hazard removal though,
Just Hitmontop, right?
just hit 'em on
I,
top
I
really,
say I don't
unless you're
know.
bringing the gold bat,
I don't see any situation in which you should bring Golbat compared to the other
But
mons on this team.
yeah, it's
I
just
I
the
think
speed is covered again. Good priority here. You
yeah,
got a really powerful sucker punch,
and Jet Punch on the Palafin. That's pretty
the jet
crazy.
punch on the Palafin.
Um,
Um,
it's good,
I think
especially
Hitmontop has every priority in the
yeah.
book.
That's sort of what he's there for with rapid spin and priority. And again, the Galvantula setting up sticky webs is huge for this team. I don't see any situation again in which he brings Golbat though, and maybe I don't think there are any 3-point sunsetters or like drought users.
No,
I'm
you
pretty sure
have
it's just
Torkoal,
Ninetales
Ninetales.
or Charizard
Does
Y.
Vulpix have it?
If Vulpix has drought, I'm pretty sure Vulpix would be like 1 to 3 points. It could be
I
better.
mean,
I don't know if he really wants the sun, especially with Palafin being such a strong mon and it very clearly weakening it. But I think you're definitely right about the fire water grass core being way better than Joe's. And Joe's is good. Joe's is very good. But gouging fire, Palafin, and Mega Venusaur is pretty good.
yeah.
Um oh,
Um,
okay, so Lyrics
I'm
is
also
saying
thinking, I'm
Vulpix
also
does
looking
get
now,
drought.
and it's also very, uh,
This is a slow
yeah,
team.
it's bulky. I was gonna say you might get killed by Intimidators, but
Mhm.
you have Defiant on King Gambit.
Which is yeah, that's great. If you want to run that instead of
But like your only real special attacker here that's gonna dish out damage is your Venusaur.
Venusaur. Yeah. Oh yeah,
I just don't
lacking.
see much versatility in who you're bringing every week.
Yeah, so this is probably a team that's going to end up being pretty easy to prep for. Um and I don't want to say easy because they're terrifying Pokemon, but it's predictable. I think that's a better way of putting it than easy to prep for. This is just a predictable team. We know
Yeah,
what you're going
but
to
if you
do.
don't have a way to get rid of sticky webs,
Yeah, I mean that
then
could
you
completely
have
screw
a
over a
bulky
team.
offense that's hitting first,
Yeah.
and then that's scary.
Mhm. What are you rating this team?
Terrifying, par for the course on King
Yeah.
Gambit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what
That's
other
what you
Terra
got to
type you'd
do.
want. Um, what would you
I
rate
also prefer
Pesky?
Defiant over Supreme Overlord, by
I
the way, Bishop.
yeah.
Um, I just want to go another 8.
You want to give him
I know
another eight?
I'm being a cop out here, giving everyone 8s, but
I think the only special attacker really being Mega Venusaur hurts.
hey, don't hate on Mega Venu.
No, but he's the only one. And predictability is bad. Um,
You're right. I might give it
I'm gonna give him a
a
6.
7.9.
7.9. Okay, I'm giving him a 6. I think you're right about his Firewater Grass Core being great. And
I
honestly,
don't know what I feel about Gouging Fire being a 20-pointer in the first place, and
I
I guess I can't say much because I didn't vote in any of the polls, so I
oh,
don't really have a say.
I think it should be less than 20 points. I think it should be 18 personally. It's a great Pokemon, but in comparison to the other 20 pointers, like something like Dragapult, I don't think it matches that. Um,
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm gonna give him a 6.
Okay.
Yeah, I again, his Firewater Grass Core is great, but the lack of a special attacker, I think, hurts him, and the speed. If someone can get rid of webs, yeah, I think this wasn't fantastic. As good as I would have liked to see. All right. Next up, we have you and the Buffalo Blazekins. Your logo's great. I mean, Buffalo Blazekins. Blaziken obviously just cool mon in general, and your logo
Thank
is
you.
great.
It's the Western New York love as a
Uh,
Western New Yorker.
yeah. Um, you're right.
I'm
Yeah, the
this
post
team was
form also.
drafted with my heart and not my brain.
Yes,
I'll let you know.
that is very
Um,
clear.
all 6 of my first picks are my 6 favorite Pokemon. My dream team, as you would call it.
When you picked the
Um,
Excadrill, I fully went, "Oh man, he got such a good rapid spinner." And then I saw your next picks. I was like, "He's just picking mons he really likes."
I'm just picking mons that I really like.
I don't blame you. Oh, lyrics, you
Yeah,
can't do that. Leavanny, I know, is one of Kurt's favorite Pokemon. He loves
I
Leavanny.
I had to. And now this doc isn't completely updated. I did
Uh,
change Gudra. I had changed Terra Captains from Gudra to
Gudra to Jolteon.
Jolteon into
Okay.
Ice and Fairy.
And I think that definitely helps your team.
Yeah, so
I
my first 6 picks plus the Frigiraf later, those are my 7 favorite mons. The other 4 were just kind of filling in things that I thought I needed.
okay.
Um, like most teams, and I mean this is an issue a lot of the times, is ground weakness.
Yep. I mean, you have the Swellow for the
I have
immunity.
the Swellow, I have the Articuno, and I have Leavanny, which
Yeah,
is
Leavanny resists, but it's a bug type, and
4
it's not.
times resisted, which is
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, and that definitely helps because Leavanny's not very bulky.
Yeah.
But Gigalith, I'm guessing, is hazard setter for you on top of Excadrill.
Uh, yeah, Gigalith is there for hazards, but also like I've never used it before, but I wanted to see what kind of maybe make it do something fun
I
with setting up the sand and then having Excadrill
okay.
put in some work
Say
as
because
a win con.
I know Gigalith is physically bulky. I don't know what its special defense is at all.
It's physically bulky and it has 135 base attack, which is the same as Excadrill.
Wow, I did not know its attack was that high, but that's really good.
Yeah.
Obviously, Farigiraf is amazing in doubles, not as good in singles because Trick Room just
Yeah,
isn't as good in singles.
but it's
Um,
got a lot of
yeah,
HP.
let's say it's still a good mon.
Kudchu is could be fun to use.
Oh, Farigiraf
Double
has
citrus berries.
Cudshoe. I did not realize that.
Yep.
Oh, and
Sap Sipper adding a grass immunity as well.
um, and I mean Hisuian and Gudra being a steel dragon is great. I mean, it's a really good pseudo legendary. Um, Tapu Fini, it's a fun mon. It's what, water fairy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's a good mon. Um, I think picking with your heart didn't hurt you terribly here. The major loss you have is the Blaziken not having speed boost.
Yeah,
Um,
Blaziken's not going to be bringing much,
yeah.
to be fair.
Sadly, I mean, it's firefighting, which pretty good
It
offensive
it
typing.
it hits hard. It's slow and
Yeah,
frail.
without the speed boost, I think it can get one shot by a lot of things. It can get hurt very quickly. Um,
I got
but
a lot of support on the team.
you do have a ton of support. Um, you you overall this is a well-rounded team. I give you that. You have some mons that can hit hard. I mean, you can run the Guts Swellow, with a Facade Terra Normal. That's gonna hit like a
Yep.
truck. Um,
Yeah, with its base, what, 85 attack, I think?
I believe so. So that
Yeah,
becomes
85.
170 with
But it's
a
fast.
yeah. But if you make that 170 attack with Guts, or is it times
With
1.5?
it's 1.5 plus double stab
Stab
with the Terra.
Terra, and then plus the 140 base Facade because you're burned. That's
Yeah.
gonna hit hard. That's gonna hit very hard. Or you could Terra Flying. I don't know if you'll ever need to Terra Flying instead, but you could if you need to. Oh, and you have Articuno. We completely just ignored Articuno, your Ice type. Um, It's only 6 points. It's not
Yeah,
amazing, but I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, it definitely did fill a role on your team. Um,
it's another ground resist
yeah.
that I needed. Um, Articuno is one of my favorite legendaries, so that was also kind of with the heart pick.
Hmm.
But also, um, you know, it adds a little bit. The typing stinks, and I did have it as a Terra captain. I don't anymore.
Uh-huh.
Um, so it's gonna get demolished by rocks.
It will
It
get
doesn't have the
demolished
most
by
versatile
rocks.
move set.
Yeah, it's Andy just said bring Sandstorm Articuno. um
Yeah, I might just use it. Focus Sash, click Sandstorm. There we go.
I mean, your fastest mon is definitely Jolteon. It's like
And especially as a
1/3
Terra
speed.
captain, which again, reminder
Yeah,
for
yeah.
those who are
Ice.
listening.
It's Ice Fairy Terra.
Yep.
Gudra has no Terra. Um, I think you have good Terra captains. I like them.
Yeah.
You
I don't want to reveal everything. I just want
yeah.
to I want to have fun this season, and I'm trying to be gimmicky. There's some stuff I'm thinking about, some stuff that if you watch tonight's match, I'm probably gonna bring out.
Okay. Looking just at the Pokemon and not bringing in the stuff that I know you can do with it, this is not a good team. Um, just at the Mons themselves in comparison to what we've seen already. But I know you already have some plans to do here. You have all your bases covered, um, which is fine. That's good. You have at least everything covered, so you don't have to worry about just about anything. Especially, yeah, you're right, Aquano. Terra Jolteon is busted. It's crazy. Um, I think the fact that you did switch that Terra is huge. Um,
Look, if I can find a way for speed control, maybe with some sticky webs, maybe set up a tailwind.
that would be huge. I'm man, it's hard. All these teams are so similar in what I want to rate them because none of them are bad. None of them are terrible. But nothing has been like this is going to win the league yet. Um
I'm gonna give myself. I'm gonna stay humble here. I think an 11.
Solid. I'll give you a like 3-ish to balance that out. And then maybe we
Yeah,
can meet somewhere in the middle.
yeah. No, I'm probably just gonna stay at the 11.
Cool. Thank you, Super Bench. I will honestly, just because I haven't seen anything, and again, this is beginning of the season. We could do this again at the end of the season before playoffs to sort of discuss how we saw people play with the teams. Because I don't know how you're playing this team. Just looking at the Pokemon themselves and your Terra types, I'm gonna give you an honest 6.5.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
playing this team by praying I don't run into a ground type.
that's yeah. I mean, you got Swellow and Leavanny to switch into there.
Yep.
But yeah, I think a 6.5 is fine for now, and we'll come back maybe like a mid-season review too. We can do that like after week 4 or something and
The
discuss what we're seeing.
mid-season power rankings after I'm 10-0.
4 or no, and I'll be 1-3 because I plan on losing my next 3 games. All right, next up. Oh, nope. What the? There's Handy. Okay, I did not want to go to his for a second.
I love it. I love this team.
This team's great. I love Handy. This man is just perfect all around. The Meteor Beam Cadets. I mean, this is such a cool logo. The Iron Moth and
Can I
Iron
just say this guy
Mugulus.
knows how to draft. Every time I've seen this guy draft a team, I love it.
I have
And this is no exception.
no. I have a single question on the team, and that's Cacturn. But I love Cacturn, so I don't even want to question that. Um, the Mega Aerodactyl near the very end of the draft, I think was an insane pickup. Um, I this team has everything. Um, Goldango is such a good Pokemon overall. Okay, Handy, I understand the Cacturn was a pick to please Diamond Man, and I love Cacturn. I think he's a cool looking Pokemon. He's just not a good Pokemon, but I'm happy you have him. Um, Goldango, or Goldango,
Goldengu.
Goldengo, Como, Tapu Lele. Rotom, Mega Aerodactyl, Tinglu, Sceptile with a Terra Captain, the Lairon Terra Captain. I do love the Terra Flying Lairon. Because throw an Eviolite on Lairon, that thing's a beast.
I mean, what are we looking at? It's got base
That thing's got to have
140 defense. So we're looking at
Jeez.
two
It's 210
210
base defense,
and
which
then
is
100 special defense.
bring that to 150.
And then body press with the fighting. Yeah,
This
that's
thing's, I mean, it's almost has the defense of Mega Aggron and Mega Steelix. That's for 1 point. Eviolite Lairon is insane.
Lairon, Tinglu, Rotom Heat.
He has, oh my god, I just realized I think I play him week 7. And I didn't think about it when I was looking at some of the teams I played beforehand. I don't want to play Handy. I do not want to play this team. Um, all around, he has all his bases covered. He has a fire water grass core in Sceptile / Cacturn, Tentacruel and Rotom Heat, which is pretty good core. Not as strong as some of the others we've seen, but all good Pokemon nonetheless. Then he does have Steel Dragon and Fairy as well, with Como also being a Steel Terra, Lairon, Tapu Lele. And I'll be honest, the Mega Aerodactyl really, it's just sticking with me. Being so
Yeah,
late
I
in
mean,
the
you
draft,
got a
the fact
fast
you
rock
got it,
setter, and
it's
then you've
so
also
good.
got Tinglu as a bulky hazard setter.
Hmm.
You get that stuff up, and then you've got Goldengo,
Yep.
who just you can't spin on it, you can't defog it.
And it's just a
Clicks make
good
it
mon.
rain.
And he oblitterates teams.
So he should be able to keep that stuff up.
Yeah. And there's not much people can do about it. Um, I'm trying to think. The only Mon which I know was not taken in our draft that I think could get rid of hazards while Goldengo is out. Actually, I don't know if it could. Mortal Spin on Glimora because Goldengo is a Steel type too.
Well, anything with Scrappy,
Oh, you're right because it's Ghost.
Rapid Spin. I don't know if there is a Scrappy
I
Rapid Spinner.
I don't believe there is, but there could be. If there is, I guess
Tidy Up. Yeah,
yeah, a
Tidy Up does
tidy up
work.
works too. Okay. Um. Oh, court change too. You're right. Court change would work, but that's just. I mean,
Did anyone even
Cinderace.
take Cinderace in this league?
I honestly don't know. I guess we'll see as we keep going. Um. Or does the Cinderace evolution, the one that evolves into Cinderace, does that one get court change?
Reboot? I don't know.
I don't know. If
I know
Reboot
this guy
has
likes his Rotoms.
I don't blame him. Rotom's awesome. Okay, so Cinderace is the only one who got it. We'll see if someone picked Cinderace. I don't know. Um, he drafted really well. I think this will be my highest rated team so far.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just
it's all around a incredibly well balanced good team.
you've got some great switch-ins for everything.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I never thought of Eviolite Lairon until I saw him pick Lairon, and I realized how terrifying of a monster that thing could be. I mean, 4 times weak to ground.
Boss man cooked.
But yeah, no, he cooked. I'm gonna give him a 9. I'm gonna give him a very solid 9 out of 10.
You want to join me at 11? I'll put him up in an 11.
11. I could give him a 10. I think this might be the best team in our draft.
Well, I think him and I are tied for best.
You're right. I'll give him a 10. I think this is the best team in the draft. I think this should be what we set as a base for what our best team is.
Oh wait, he is Tapu Lele. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, no, that I said his Steel Dragon Fairy Core of the Eviolite
I
Lairon,
completely brushed it. I was
Como.
thinking that whole time. I'm like Sceptile. That's an interesting pick.
Yeah,
Where's the synergy? But then I
you saw the Lele.
I
and you
forgot
went,
I wanted
"Realize."
Tapu Lele, and you were the one that took it from me.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Super Bench Handy wishes he could pay me off. No, I genuinely really like his team. Partially the logo I think is one of the actual best we've seen. It's adorable. But this is all around a fantastic team that I think will be hard to break through. Especially if he can get those
Yeah,
hazards up.
10.9, a little below me.
I'll give him actually a 9. I think this is the best team in draft for our league.
Oh, we haven't gone through all of them
Yeah,
yet.
but at least so far, this is the best, which is why part of me does not want to give it a 10. But actually, I don't know if there was a 10 in our draft, though, being completely honest.
You're right, because I was an 11.
You're right, my bad. But yeah, Handy did pretty good. It's definitely a solid 9, best team we've seen so far. Then we come
Right.
to my team, the Grease Glass Scores. I sort of did what you did. I picked a lot of mons that I like, and I just wanted to try. Um, I don't think my team's fantastic. I'll be completely honest. I don't think it's great, but I like my Pokemon, so I'll let you speak on it.
Oh, me?
Yeah, yeah. It's I'll let you talk more, so I don't show any bias.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking through it right now. I know a lot of people have been starting to wean off Dragonite a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I still think a Terra normal, and it is Terra, right?
It is no
Yeah.
longer Terra
Oh,
because I got rid of Squawkabilly because so it sucks for me because I was taking care of everyone else's transactions when I was awake at work. So I didn't really get to make any grace moves because I didn't look at my team at all or the things that were available in the tier list. Um, so I had to use 4 of my 5 transactions after grace to fix my team. Because originally I
yeah, but
had,
if you drop a Terra Captain, it should be a free action to change your Terra Captains, I
but I
thought.
changed 2 because I Marsh Stomp was not one that I wanted to be my Terra Captain. I wanted it to be Lucario and Volcanion.
Yeah, but if you drop Terra Captain, it should be free action.
That's why it's 4 instead of 5 because I changed off of Dragonite as well, so I could have
Oh,
Volcanion
well,
and Lucario. So I dropped 3
18
Pokemon.
points for a non-Terra normal Dragonite. Not the best in my opinion. I mean, it's still Dragonite, still hits hard. It still has extreme speed. Zero
Yeah,
Aura hits hard. Rillaboom.
it's really
Lucario.
boom.
I mean, you got some mixed attackers. Zero Aura can run special. Lucario can do special attack.
I
Hoopa
proved
can.
that this
This is a
week.
very physical team.
Oh, I do. My only special attackers are. I mean, I could technically have Hoopa be special,
Yeah.
because it has 160 special, 170 physical. Volcanion is special, and Lucario are special. Those are my only directly, clearly better special attackers. Because Lucario is base 110 physical, base 115 special, and Volcanion is base 130 special, base 120 physical. Um, so I could run Hoopa, Volcanion, and Lucario all as special attackers. Um, I'll be honest, I'm sort of regretting the Dragonite. Um, partially
I mean,
because
and like Aquano said, it's still Dragonite.
it is still
It's
Dragonite.
expensive, but it's still Dragonite.
The
You still can press
multi-scale.
some Dragon Dances.
Yeah, I can press a Dragon Dance thanks to multi-scale. I have Roost, I have Extreme Speed. It's an incredibly predictable mon every single week.
I mean, you can
Um,
also run Inner Focus. I was gonna say you're weak to Intimidate, but you run Inner Focus.
yeah,
They've got items for that now. I mean, no
yeah,
one wants to run the clear. Is it the clear amulet? No one wants to run
no,
that,
yeah. It's just
but you can.
multi-scale is just so good in making sure I live.
Lucario also has Inner Focus.
Yeah. And actually, I don't even think I ran Inner Focus this week because I was our first game this week. Obviously, the first one to play.
So I mean, you're already 1-0.
Yeah,
So
I built a.
technically, you're the best team.
Oh no, not technically. I'm literally the best team.
Yeah.
But I built one of the jankiest, most unpredictable teams ever because I knew my opponent, who prepped for something completely different than what I brought, was not going to expect the specially built expert belt Lucario.
Ah,
um,
that's always a.
yeah,
They never expect the expert bout Lucario.
no,
You cover your ground weakness nice
yes,
with grassy terrain
yep.
setting up weakens the earthquake.
hmm
I mean, you've got Dragonite as a switch in. What are your Terra captains again? I keep looking at the wrong thing.
Volcanion and Lucario. Volcanion's
Yeah.
Terra Ground, Lucario Terra Normal or Steel.
Yep, Terra normal, Lucario. So basically, I mean, you're just gonna do with Dragonite what you would have done anyway, but with Lucario now.
Similar, yeah.
Albeit a little weaker, but still,
Yeah.
it works. It's the same sentiment.
I
Great
love
priority, covers for your lack of speed overall.
very much so. I mean, my only fast mon is Sarah Aura.
Yeah, and as a Zero Aura user before, I love Zero Aura.
It's fun. It's very
It's
fun.
fun. You can run it specially or physically.
Yeah, and its only
It's
weakness
fast.
is ground.
Yeah.
But I think Hoopa Unbound may be one of my less great choices in the draft, but I love him and I want to try him. He is a base stat total beast with base stat
Yeah.
of 680. And his only bad stat, I mean, speed is 80, but his defense is 60. Physical defense, I believe, is 60, which is god awful. But the fact that he has base physical attack of 170, base special attack of 160, he hits so hard, but the fact that a U-turn from just about anything will kill him
Yeah.
is not great. So I think that was somewhat stupid, but I wanted to try him anyways. Um,
Well, not every team has U-turn.
you're right. You're very right. But I think my changes in picking up the Rillaboom, Drapion, and Marshtomp, of which I did talk to someone in the draft about, and they helped me figure things out. So thank you, Tylord, for conversing with me and helping me figure out my team. I think it's way better than it was when I first drafted with the Monkey Dory, and everything. Hey, Monkey Dory put in work this week.
Yeah, I mean, and
I picked him specifically for Toxic Chain and the higher chance of badly poisoning things. Um, I don't think it was the best choice. He had base 106 speed, which was faster than everything else on my team. But I think I did have to let him go for Drapion, who's bulkier. I think all around my team
it's just
is
it's gonna come in and it's gonna hit really hard,
yeah.
and you're gonna pray don't get burned.
Yes, I do have to pray to not be burned unless I run a special Lucario with nasty
Yeah.
plot like I did last week. I can switch up some of my Pokemon to be special if I'm worried about burns, but I'd rather not have to do that. You're right, Aquano. My opponent did not realize he was toxic. He just thought he was regular poisoned, and that definitely saved me. But besides the point, I give my team a solid 6.
I'm going a little below mine, 10 out of 10 instead of 11.
You give me a 10.
Yeah.
You're being so friendly. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'll stick with my 6. I think one of my team is one of the lesser teams picked in this draft. But I'm just looking to have fun with it. So with that, we move on to Super Bench and the Pripyat Persians. Um,
Love
uh,
it. I
his
love this team.
I do like this team. I very much so like this team. Um, I have been helping his opponent. I apologize, Superbench, because you have been very friendly and kind to me. But your opponent for this week has talked to me, and I have helped him prep a little bit. And I found a couple weaknesses in this team. I don't want to speak too much since I have helped someone on this team.
Well, you
Um,
gotta speak. That's exactly why you have
you're
to.
right. All right, Superbench wants to fight now. I'll
I
be
mean,
honest.
look, you got the Hippowdon,
Hippowdon's crazy. I'll be honest.
yeah,
Hippowdon is
and
one of the scarier mons. That and Gliscor on this team are insane.
Sandrush Dracovish.
Mm-hmm.
That's, hey, you don't really see that often.
I will say, from helping someone prep for this team, there are a lot of things to have to take into account on this team that make it very scary. The Dracovish with Sandrush is terrifying to think about. Hippowdon being just a tank overall, it's so hard to fight against, especially given it's a Terra Captain in Steel or Grass. Um, Quaquaval can hit an Aqua Step and just be faster than everything. And it already hits physically like a truck. Gliscor is one of I have to send Superbench's rating down because he stole my mascot in Gliscor, who I really wanted to use this season. Um, but Gliscor overall is a fantastic hazard setter, an annoying mon to deal with toxic heal. It's so frustrating. Corviknight Steel Flying is so good. The Mega Diancie,
Corviknight in what, the 7th round?
yeah, 7th round. Again, this was such a strange draft. Um, I, yeah, it was weird that some of the better Mons in draft fell to 7th to 9th round. But I mean, all of his pickups, I didn't know how I felt about the Arbok in the first round. Obviously, this was a gentleman's agreement. We all agreed 3-1 points for our first pick. I think Arbok surprisingly can put in work. Only when it's a Terra Dragon, really though. I
It's
think
an intimidator.
yeah, yeah, you're right. It can intimidate. That's about it though now. Because
Is
Terra
Sandville
Dragon,
banned in this league?
I don't, I know it is in our other one. I don't know if it is in this one. Um, you're right. You're right. It is a grounded poison type, and he doesn't have another grounded poison, right? No, no, he does not. So you're right. The fact that you have the grounded poison in Arbok is nice.
Yeah.
For only 2 points is fine. Um, I
Quaquaval can get crazy.
really, I mean, his
Mega
first
Diancie is like my draft league nemesis.
Mons 2 through 7 all can really go crazy, and I could see
I've
each
I've
of them
never
coming
done
up really.
Dracovish Calcs without
Okay.
Strongjaw.
Uh,
I'm usually facing.
It's a little weaker, but it's still the speed boost is crazy, and
Yeah,
Sandvale
Sandvale
is
is
banned,
banned.
so good to know. Um,
But it's still, I mean, you're still hitting first
mhm,
most of the time under sand, and then you can run
mhm,
band over the scarf, so
which
the
is
Vicious Ren's still
great.
gonna hurt.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I love the Regice pick. I've loved Regice since I was like 6. I think it's just a funny looking Pokemon. Um, but it has base is it base 200 defense or special defense?
It's special.
Special defense. That's a special wall right there. Well, Hippowdon is a crazy physical wall. He doesn't have to mega the Diancie either, so that's base 150 both defense and special defense.
Yep.
This is another team that's hard to break through. He has Boltund with pretty good speed. The Sand Rush Dracovish, obviously. Um, Mega Diancie can rock polish, and then just it can rock polish his regular Diancie, Mega, and then just sweep things. That's what happened to me in our other league. Um, I think that actually Houndstone has Sand Rush too, doesn't it?
Yep, it does.
This is on Super Bench. If you're still here, this is a scary team. Now that I'm thinking about it, and I know Sand is like considered one of the worst. Um, uh, God, what the hell is it called?
Weather.
Weathers, yeah.
Yeah,
Sand
but
is
you got Gliscor,
you got everything he
Diancie,
needs for it.
Hippowdon, Corviknight, Houndstone. None
You
of them take damage from it.
Yeah, you have everything you need to make Sand work. And this is the first actual like actual weather team we've seen, and I think it does Sand really well. Um, I will give him a solid 8.5.
10 out of 10.
You give him a 10. You are being so generous. I'm not used to this side of you being so generous and kind to everyone.
10 out of 10. Not quite as good as my team, but it's up there.
I think Super Bench, your team's scary. I'll be honest. After looking at it and helping prep for it, and I know I play you the last week of the season. I don't want. There's a
Yeah,
lot of
it's
teams I
that
don't want to play.
the Quaquaval and the Gliscor especially is what
Yeah,
I like those picks the best.
the Gliscor is my favorite pick because I love Gliscor. Um, but I think Hippowdon is one of the cores of this team, and his entire team basically benefits from it. So this is a very solid team.
It's
Um,
just missing an Excadrill.
yeah. Also, I didn't even think about it. Any teams with sturdy, or I mean, sturdy won't really be affected because most of them are rock, steel, or
Yeah.
ground, anyways. But the sandstorm breaks
Breaks
focus
focus
sashes,
sashes.
which is
Yeah.
huge. Um,
Like that
that'll
Galvantula team.
yeah, that bumps this up to a 9.
Or if
Um,
someone's running Sticky Web, Focus Sash Leavanny maybe.
yeah, I think this is the first team I've seen that is just about on the same level as Handy's. Um, with just what it can do. I mean, he sets up and he's good. He's golden. Um, yeah,
Nah,
no,
he the GOAT.
super bench. Great job. This is an awesome team. Next up, oh, Scorpithan and the Norwich Neuverns. I don't know why my screen for some reason isn't showing it. Okay, there we go.
Another weather one.
Yeah. This is our first actual Sun team. Behem, Roaring Moon, Great Tusk, Jirachi, Enamorous Therian, Ninetales, Araquanid, Delmise, Rodon Frost, Hitmonchan, Regirock. I think the Araquanid is great. Great hazard setter with the sticky webs, because he's almost always guaranteed to live once. But then Great Tusk and Roaring Moon and Sun, thanks to Ninetales, that's scary. That's a very scary duo to have in Sun.
Did Torkoal go undrafted or no?
Torkoal is in fact undrafted.
Interesting.
I mean, Torkoal is my second favorite Pokemon. So I'm slightly mad that you took Ninetales over the Torkoal Scorpithan. I honestly don't know why, other than the fact that Ninetales probably has better special attack and physical attack than Torkoal does, because Torkoal's just bulky. But I
Oh,
think,
I just lagged out.
oh, you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, cool. I think Torkoal being able to live so much longer than Ninetales makes it a better Sunsetter. I know some people have talked like liking Ninetales more for Sun.
Well, does Torkoal have recovery?
I don't know if he does. Does Ninetales?
He has Morning Sun. I don't know if
No,
Torkoal does.
I do not believe
I could be
Torkoal
wrong.
has Morning Sun. If he does, then I don't. And I guess Torkoal is also incredibly slow.
It doesn't have Morning Sun. I was
Okay.
I'm thinking Arcanine.
Okay. But
Yeah, I like this team.
I
I
think
think
it's good.
speed is. I mean, speed can be an issue.
Yeah. Oh wow, we've already been going for over an hour and a half. We
Yeah.
probably will speed it up for the last few teams. We apologize if we don't take as long. But sadly we do not have all night to do this. And we
Yeah.
wanted to get as much as we could. I think this is a great Sun team.
It's another one of those bulky offensive teams we talked about.
Yeah.
Teams that can take hits and dish them back.
I think the
Um,
Araquanid is one of the best web setters in the entire draft. I think it's a great pickup for this. I think the Enamorous Therian Terra types are great. Delmise being fairy and electric. What are your thoughts on that?
Elmi's being fairy and electric. Let's see. Hold on. I gotta look at the rest of the team.
He has Jirachi as a steel type. Great Tusk, Roaring Moon, obviously are meant for Sun. Behem is a psychic type. Hitmonchan fighting, Rotom Frost, Ice
Yeah, I mean,
Electric.
fairy electric, it covers its flying and dark weakness.
All right. Overall, I think a good team. I'll be honest, I like Super Bench's Sand team more than the Sun team.
I like the Sun team. I do.
You like the Sun team?
Yes.
I think it's good, and I think
I mean, I'm biased. I like Sun teams.
I think Sun is better weather overall, mostly thanks to the Paradox Pokemon. And Roaring Moon and Great Tusk are so good. I mean, Roaring Moon in Sun is going to be insanely fast, and Great Tusk will hit like a truck. But I don't think I'm going to give this a 9. I think it's good. I think
Yeah, I'm just
you
looking
know
at
it's going to be Sun.
you got Jirachi and I guess Delmise. Other than that, I'm not looking at anything that can reliably take on fairies. I think fairies takes out a lot of its hard hitters.
Yeah.
I mean, Roaring Moon, obviously, and Great Tusk. But other than that, the Sun is great. They're going to be heavy hitters. You're
Yeah.
not going to outspeed much, but you're going to hit back hard. In
I'll-
terms of, yeah, like you said, Arachnid's a good web setter.
I'm
Yeah, it's a good team. I like it.
I
I
give
think
him
Ninetales.
Ninetales
The
good
one
for
thing it
Sun.
has that Torkoal doesn't is speed. Not that it's that fast. It's 100 base speed.
Yeah, but Torkoal's 20, so
Yeah.
I give it a solid 8 out of 10.
I give it a 9 out of 10.
All right. Next up is Drake Spice with the Seattle Suicunes. You got Munchlax, Tapu Koko, Mega Metacham, Iron Moth, Garchomp, Empoleon, Zarude, Arboliva, Drifblim, and Krokorok. His Terra captains being Fairy Zarude, Arbaliva, Fire Fairy, Drifblim, Ghost Fairy. He is obviously covered having a Fairy type, with both the Tapu and all of his Mons having Fairy Terra. I don't know if I love all of them being Fairy Terra. I think he might have wanted to switch it up a little bit.
Fairy. I mean, it's
Fairy's a
probably the
great
best.
type, but
It's Fairy and Water are probably the two best Terra types.
you're right.
This team is weak to Fairy.
Yes, it is.
This team
It
is
is.
weak to fighting.
I guess the Fairy Terras definitely help with the actually both of those weaknesses.
Iron Moth's amazing. With electric terrain, it's even more amazing.
And Tapu Koko obviously takes care of that.
Tapu Koku's
Metacham
great. You can run it
hits.
utility. You can surprise people with a more offensive set.
I'm guessing if he ever brings Munchlax, which I don't know why he would, Eviolite Munchlax probably is a little tank. But the Tapu Koko Mega Metacham just hits like a truck.
Yeah.
That's a scary Mega, and honestly, probably one of the best ones in draft. Empoleon Steel Water type can go crazy. I think this is another pretty all around well rounded electric terrain team. From what it looks like he might go for with the Koku and Iron Moth. But I think that's the only real mon that benefits from the
Coco
electric
Iron
terrain.
Moth. Driftblim has Unburden. You could do stuff
Oh,
with that.
you're right. I mean, Drifblim's not like super fast. But I know Drifblim is incredibly tanky.
It's got
Um,
150 base HP.
yeah, I say it's huge. I know one of the other mons that has a ton of HP is Alamomola with
And Strength
165.
Sap is
So
always
Strength
Sap's
Sap's
always fun.
huge. Lowering physical attack is always fun. Um, but yeah, with the Ghost
And
Fairy
then I
Terror,
mean
that's good.
it's Drifblim's good. It's a fighting resist, which is needed. It's a
Hmm.
ground resist, which every team needs.
Not
Uh,
even. It's an immunity to both of those,
yeah.
which is
Yeah,
huge.
sorry, that's
Yeah.
what I meant. But yeah, so you could do some stuff with Unburden on that. You also get the Seed Sower with the grassy terrain, so there's
Hmm.
that. I think Zarude gets Grassy Glide. I'd have to double check. I'd
If
be
it
surprised if it didn't.
That'd be weird if it didn't. I feel like it should have it.
It does.
Okay, and then
So you've got another quasi terrain
yeah,
setter there.
and I mean Aqua Jet on Empoleon. That's more priority. Um,
I know Garchomp with Power Creep, especially in Gen 9, has been running more defensive sets with Rough Skin,
mhm.
Stealth Rock Setter, Toxic, but it's still Garchomp.
Yeah, and I mean rough skin is great because it can't be knocked off like a Rocky Helmet.
Yeah.
But like if you had a rough skin and Rocky
But people
Helmet,
have been doing
that's
Rocky
crazy.
Helmet, Rough Skin,
Yeah, I
yeah.
say that deals so much damage if someone hits you physically. This is
I
another.
love the Empoleon pick.
Me too. I love Empoleon. Such a cool starter.
You could switch that. I mean, you set up those hazards and then switch an Empoleon into a defog that you're trying to predict.
Yeah,
Get that competitive boost.
yeah. That
I like it. I
actually
really
would
do
be
like this
crazy.
team.
Me too.
It's a phenomenal fire, water, grass core.
Yeah, there are so few teams I dislike in this draft besides my own. Um,
Dragon Steel Fairy too. That's
yeah, really, he has just about everything covered with really good mons. And
it's got weaknesses, but it hits hard.
I will also say that Terra Fairy Arbaliva or Terra Fire Arbaliva can go just so crazy.
Is that
Um,
what it is?
yeah, Terra Fire or
Oh,
Terra,
Terrafire. Yeah, that
yeah,
does.
that's an insane 7 point Terra Captain. I This is another team. I'm gonna give him an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, 9 out of 10.
Okay. We're staying right around the same spot right now with these last few teams, which are some of the best teams we've seen. Next up is what the heck?
Scottish Stoutlands.
Yep.
I haven't looked at this one at all.
We
I
have
think.
lyrics. If you're still in chat, lyrics. Bastiodon, Thundurus, Therian, which also sniped from me and made me sad. Metagross, Darkrai, Dragalge, Florges, Victini, Stoutland, Mega Beedrill, Trevenant, Quagsire, and Volbeat. Terra
Terra that
Captains,
Bastiodon.
that's crazy.
You
Yeah.
and you click
Body Press.
body press.
Terra Fighting, Body Press. Then you have Metagross, Steel Water, Terra, and Quagsire Fairy Poison Terra. Um, I mean, he has now with that Terra Poison two grounded poison types with the Dragalge and Quagsire. Um, I love that he picked up his mascot in Stoutland. I love the Mega Beedrill pick. Mega Beedrill is so fast. It hits so hard. I think it's a great mon at 10 points. And then he has the Darkrai at 19, another fast, really solid special attacker. Um, Thunderous Therian at 13 points, I think was a pretty good steal for him in the first round. Um, I was expecting him to take something higher than 13 points for the first round, though, but still, all around, I think his team ended up pretty solid overall.
Yeah. I mean, McTeeny's great.
Mm-hmm.
Darkrai's great. Metagross is gonna do a lot of damage. I really do like Dragalge, personally. I've used it a couple times. It's great.
I mean, at 9 points, Dragon
Adaptability,
Poison,
Draco
yeah,
Meteor
that's really good.
does a lot of damage. He's got a lot of special switch-ins.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Floor just takes those hits. Dragalge takes those hits.
And I'll be honest,
Well,
there's
don't like Mega Beedrill personally, but it's fast.
I think it's a
Does a
pretty
lot of
good
damage.
mon for just 10 points. I think it's a really good mega. Um I will say besides ghost types, even things that resist fighting, an iron defense body press Bastiodon with Terra fighting, I with it has like almost 200 base defense. It's got to be something crazy like that. Um I don't know how much is living that because its defense is so high. Um, I think this is another just great, well-rounded team. It's definitely stronger on the special side than it is the physical side, though. I will
You mean
open this.
taking hits wise?
Yes.
Yeah.
Um. Uh.
But yeah, you got the guys at the top, like your Darkrai,
Mhm.
Thunderous kind of,
I mean,
Beedrill, that are really fast and can do damage.
yeah. And like physical walls in either Quagsire or Bastiodon, they're great.
My favorite pick here is the Dragalge, personally.
I think Dragalge's great. I think the Thunderous Therian was a great pick. I don't know if I would have taken it as his first actual pick, ignoring our first round. Darkrai in the fourth round is good. Victini all the way down in the seventh round is also pretty good. Solid fire type. Um, I don't know if it's as good as some of the teams we've just seen though. Um,
Yeah, I'm giving it an 8.5.
I'll give him a 7. Um, I don't think it's as good as the past 3 teams. I don't think I was in the past 3 teams. I think I was 4 away. Because this is a good team. But yeah, I think some of the other teams just overall have better combinations than this. But yeah, lyrics, pretty good job. I do like your team. Then we have Tylord69 and the Twin City Torteras. He has Lurantis, Iron Valiant, Grimmsnarl, Scizor, Swampert, Moltres, Alakazam, Mega Ampharos, Staraptor, Torterra, and Quaxwell, with his Terra
Stupid
captains
Quaxwell.
as Lurantis, Staraptor, and Torterra. Lurantis being fighting and bug, Staraptor being flying and fighting, and Torterra being steel and dark. Valiant is good. I don't know if I think Valiant's a 20-point mon though. I think it's 19 or 18. But yes, 10 out of 10 for drafting the Torterra as his mascot. Tyler does get points off for not having his own logo though, and making me go get a PNG of Torterra.
Yeah.
I do not appreciate that. I think this is a pretty good team.
Yeah, I like the Moltres, Swampert, Torterra core.
It's a really good core.
Slower and typically
Yeah.
ran bulkier. But also guys that can do damage.
I will say,
Especially, I mean, Moltres hits hard on 125 special attack. Um, Swampert, I mean, most people don't run it this way. I mean, you're gonna probably have leftovers.
yeah,
Probably gonna use them as your hazard setter, yawn, toxic maybe. Still 110 attack. I mean, it can dish out some heavy earthquakes. And
yeah,
then Torterra was Shell Smash.
yeah. I say outside of Shell Smash Torterra, this team is pretty slow. Alakazam is his fastest mon, which has like a little over 100 base speed. So this is a pretty slow team. Um, but
Any team with Iron Valiant is terrifying.
yes, it is. I will say I think the sleeper pick and one that I think some people questioned for the first round in the draft is the Lurantis Terra. Um, I looked at some
The
stuff on this
contrary
mon.
Lurantis Terra.
Yeah, it's a scary mon. It's slow with 45 base speed, but its attack is close to 100 or somewhere around 100. Um, it it hits like a truck. And it can heal itself, especially with the Terra Bug, with Leech Life, which with that's buff to now 80 base power, that can go crazy. I think Grimmsnarl is super diverse. The fact that it can set up screens, or because it has such great stats, you can run it as a physical mon. I don't know why you would, especially with the slower team. I think light screen, reflect. It's better to get those up. Priority and Scizor with bullet punch. Swampert with flip turn, being able to set up hazards. This is an all around really well balanced team, and I think the Mega Ampharos at only 5 points is a solid electric type pickup.
Yeah. I've never personally used Mega Ampharos.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta take a look how versatile its moveset is. Um, does it have anything that it can utilize that dragon type with? On the top of my
That
head.
I don't
Mold
know.
Breaker is its ability. Let's see what dragon moves it's got.
It has to have like Dragon Pulse
It's
or
got
something.
Dragon Pulse, yeah.
Yeah. And that's good. Thunderbolt. I mean, its special attack is crazy. Um, just a good mon. Staraptor, one of the coolest regional birds by far. Um,
Yeah.
I think this is just a solid team all around. Iron Valiant again. It's a little frail, but it hits so hard that
I
it
mean,
doesn't
Iron
matter.
Valiant's just a problem no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah, so 100 base defenses, 165 special attack, Dragon Pulse, Volt Switch, Thunderbolt. Yeah, Tyler, I know. Don't worry. We've been talking. Um, but yeah, I love his team. After looking more at it, I really do like his team. I think he can be a menace with some of the things he can set up. I give him a I'm gonna give him an 8.5. I think this is a really well balanced team, and I think his low point Mons he did really well, along with his very high point mines, like Iron
Yeah, I
Valiant.
mean, good mixed offense.
Yeah.
Guys that you typically run bulky. I mean, like we saw Ty say it, and this is my favorite way to run Swampert, throw an Assault Vest on it,
Mm-hmm.
get that bulk on there.
Yeah. Oh, and
Um,
along with that, the Grimmsnarl for screens if he wants them. The best screen setter in the game, on top of being able to do so much more than
yeah,
that.
which a good screen setter, prankster screen setter, which kind of covers some of your defensive
Mm-hmm.
areas where this team lacks.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
overall,
Great
I'm
job,
gonna give
Tyler.
it a 9 out of
Yeah.
10.
Yeah. Great job. This is fantastic. Then finally, what the balls? There we go. We have Auditarin and the Texas Go-Goats.
Love it.
With the Muck, Latios, Mega Scizor, Annihilate, Terrapagos, Terrastyle, Alamamola, Diancie, Rotom Fan, Flygon, Magmortar, and his Terras are the Rotom, Flygon, and Magmortar. Um, and Rotom is Terra Steel and Fairy, Flygon is Terra Normal and Electric, and Magmortar is Terra Fire and Fairy. Um, I don't wanna shit on his team too much because I beat it. Um,
Oh, did you?
yes. I will say I think Alamamola is one of the most annoying Pokemon in all of Draft. Being a water type and only having the two weaknesses, being able to eat so much with base 165 HP, um, and the fact it can heal everything so well, I absolutely hate it. It's so
Yeah.
annoying to plan for. I think Mega Scizor is a great physical attacking mon. The 4 times weakness to fire definitely hurts though. Muck for 4 points as a grounded poison type is great. I like that. I think his Terror Captains are pretty good. I don't know how I feel about a normal and electric Flygon. I guess it helps get rid of a lot of Flygon's weaknesses, but
Yeah, I guess with the thought there is levitate electric type
yeah, that
and no
definitely helps.
natural
Yeah,
super effective weaknesses there.
yeah.
Unless
Flygon
you're
also
playing
has
against Zygarde.
Flygon has Boom Burst. So I
Yes, it
forgot
does.
about that.
Yes,
So yeah, no,
and
never mind. That
that's
hits
what the other
crazy
one's
hard.
for.
So that's crazy. Gets rid of a lot of weaknesses. Boom Burst, huge. Diancie is a defensive wall. Incredibly annoying to have to deal with, unless you're me and you hit it with a steel type move. Magmortar as fire and fairy Terra, pretty good. Annihilate is a scary mon. Ghost fighting, it has a lot of immunities. And ghost normal and fighting, being immune to all of them. And it hits like a
Yeah, and
truck
letting
too.
it take those hits and then healing it up again with Aloma,
Yeah.
however you say it.
Yes. Um,
Latios with the newly buffed Luster Purge.
it's huge. The Terapagos being a pretty bulky rapid spinner is huge. Um, I think this is a good team. I'll be honest, I don't think I should have beat him this week. Um, but I didn't plan it all and ran a really stupid set that I just managed to catch him off guard with. I think overall his team is probably better than mine. I don't think it's good as some of the other teams we've seen though. I gave myself a 6. I think I'll give him a 7. Um, I don't know if there's too much I'd want to change on this team. Um, I don't think he has a great grass type, which is something he might want. Um,
Um,
but I don't know exactly what I'd switch out on this team. Um, I think he made some good picks. I don't know what. I'm so sorry. I apologize for yawning. Um, I don't know what changes he made in Grace. Again, I probably should have done a little more research before this, but I was rushing. Um,
off the dome, just
I
off the cuff.
Yes, I think he has some real. He probably has the best healing Pokemon in the game with Alamamola. Um, and Diancie being such a great defensive wall is crazy.
But they are 0-1.
They are 0-1. They are currently the worst team in the division, which
The Terra
is
Captain
sad.
Rotom fan. I like the steel, levitate,
I
getting rid
really,
of his ground weakness.
I wish it was terrifying. It does. Yeah, it would make it worse because there's
A
absolutely no
flying
reason.
levitate.
Flying levitate. There's no reason for this mon to have levitate. It's
Yeah.
stupid. But the steel and fairy Terras, I think, is pretty smart because Rotom is fast, and it has decent stats. I think it's a good mon overall. Rotom fan just happens to be the worst of the Rotoms because, well, it has levitate as a flying type, which is completely redundant.
Yeah, we'll just paralyze someone and then hit a bunch of air slashes and
Yeah. Um,
or maybe hit a foul play against an iron boulder.
you're right. That's pretty smart. But yeah, that's Audit
Bolt
Um,
switch. And
I like the
yeah,
Texas
I think
Godos.
9 out of 10.
You're giving him a
The
9 out of
Mega
10.
Scizor's great. The Annihilape's great. I like the Latios.
Man,
Obviously, the good heavy hitters at the top, and then his Terra Captains, I think Magmortar
yeah,
and Flygon and Rotom.
I think
Doing
they're
a lot of
good.
work. Didn't even mention Diancie. Can switch into almost
Yeah, almost anything. I mean,
it covers a lot of his weaknesses switching in wise.
the only thing Diancie is really weak to is steel, which the rest of his team I think handles pretty okay. Um, so I think that's a fine weakness. But yeah, I think overall pretty good. I'll be honest, I think my team is one of the worst in this draft. Um, and
I
that's
mean,
okay.
I got the highest
You did
with
get
my
the
11 out
highest
of 10.
from
So
yourself, though. I think overall, the best team we talked about was Handy's. I think we
Um,
both agreed we liked him a lot, but I love Superbench's team. I love the Sand team. I think it's really good,
yeah,
especially since there weren't a lot of checks to it, as almost no one is running weather. But I mean, I think we can say the Buffalo Blazekins do go pretty hard. And
thank you.
I think with that, we'll end it there. Um,
I got a match coming up in a bit.
you do. I apologize for keeping you waiting so long. And everyone who's been watching, I hope you enjoyed. And if any of you are looking for any more feedback or anything from any of us, please reach out. We can give you our opinions. I'd say don't reach out to me though. I don't know as much about draft as some of you. But yeah, you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later. And Super Bench, I will tune into your stream. I have to drive back to my other house, so I'll be on in a little bit. But enjoy, and everyone have a wonderful night. Thank you.